A recording of this meeting is being made and shall be kept for 30 days as public record. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. I'm here. Mario's here. Mr. is here. Adrian is here. Mr. Boyd is here. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda with a correction to consent item D? The coordinator work days will be changed from 210 days to 200 days.
So
And also on, under personnel items for the salary schedule for Alicia Candelisa to be placed on step 3.
so moved.
Motion by Vince Light, seconded by? Second by Terrace, all in favor? Aye. Okay, reports and communications. The 2024 oral language presentation, Ms. Linda Andretta and Thomas Hahn.
Okay, Thomas Hahn wasn't able to join us today, but Linda Andretta has joined us, and she will be announcing the 6 students, the final that went over the finals. Okay, and
Hi, I'm Linda Andrietta. I am the coach of West Park, and Tom Hahn is for Tropico, and Diane Sinclair is for Roseman Elementary. And we have a serious duel, which is by Audrey Perez and Audrey Pineda Miranda. And serious duel is Esteban and John Marquise Humorous, and Maggie Price and Marissa Robles. The only ones that are here right now is Aubrey Perez and Audrey Pineda Miranda to perform for us.
we also have Esteban here
I'm
as well.
sorry, yes.
But his partner is not currently here, and the
They won
yes,
second place in Bakersfield.
Wow.
They did a
Second
wonderful
place.
job from what I hear.
that's at our countywide oral language festival.
Okay.
Nice.
I'll give Esteban a And then the other two, Maggie and Marissa, they're not available because I believe Marissa's out of town. That's the reason they're not.
It's like summertime.
Nice.
Out of here.
Thank you.
All right. So then we'll have them come up to perform then. Please.
Aubrey and Audrey?
Yes.
Always Love You by Hans Wilhelm. This is a story about Elfie, the best dog in the whole world. We grew up together, but Elfie grew much faster than I did. I loved resting my head on her warm coat. Then we would dream together. My brother and sister loved Elfie very much, but she was my dog. Every day, Elfie loved to taste grass and dig in my mother's flower garden. Sometimes my folks would get very angry with Elfie when she would get too much. But they still loved her, even when they scolded her. The trouble was, no one told her, except me. The years passed quickly, and while I was growing taller and taller, Elfie was growing rounder and rounder. The older Elfie got, the more she slept, and the less she liked to walk. I was getting worried. We took Elfie to the vet, but there wasn't much he could do. Elfie is just growing old, he said. It soon became too difficult for Elfie to climb the stairs. But she had to sleep in my room. I gave Elfie a soft pillow to sleep on. And before we went to sleep, I would say to her, I'll always love you. I know she understood. One morning, I woke up and discovered that Elfie had died during the night. We buried Elfie together. We all cried and hugged each other. I, my mother and sister, loved Elfie a lot, but I never told her so. I was very sad too, but it helped me to remember that I told her every night, I'll always love you. A neighbor offered me a puppy. I knew Elfie wouldn't have minded, but I said no. I gave him Elfie's basket instead. He needed it more than I did. Someday I'll have another dog, kitten, or goldfish. But whatever it is, I'll tell it every night. I'll always love you.
Yes, I'd like to thank the students, also the coaches, the oral language coaches, parents for their support, and board, Ms. Gaines as well, everyone that's been helping throughout the process. We appreciate that the finals were very competitive. There were a lot of other districts competing against Southern Kern, students from Southern Kern. So just to make it up to the finals is very challenging, but I think it was a fun and engaging experience for the students as well. And that was an event that students progressed not only at the local level, but at the regional in Mojave, and then on to finals in Bakersfield.
Well done, ladies. Okay, above and beyond awards, Joe Feinstein and Gary Jones, games.
Every once in a while, I stumble across some of our amazing employees who really do something above and beyond what their normal job description entails. And Roseman Elementary School every year has an incredible art show. I don't know if you've had the chance to visit that art show, but I go, and as you can see, I do a little shopping for I like to refer to it as borrowing, although I have to say I haven't given back anything, but it's not very good on my part. But anyway, if you look around the boardroom, we have some new art that was just displayed yesterday, I think. I can tell when I go to the art show, this year especially, every teacher at Roseman Elementary, can I repeat that? Every teacher had their students participate. And you'll see like perspective drawings, watercolors, chalks, you'll see all sorts of different forms of visual art. And I stumbled across, and I'm gonna walk back over here a second, and Gary usually takes me on the tour, and I stumbled across several of these, and there's one here, and there's one above the refrigerator, and there's another one back here. And because I was told by Ms. Feinstein I could take one, I could request one of every class's work. And so I said, oh my goodness, these kids are incredible. I love these. And then Gary said, well, I knew there was something coming after his drawn out. Well, actually, Ms. Gaines, these weren't done by a student. They were done by the assistant principal. So this is the work of Mr. Banahan. So for some reason, he just told me to take all you want. And so I did. I took a few, as you can see, but beautiful. I mean, just amazing. So I wanted to thank Miss Jody Feinstein. Jody, come up. And I want to thank Mr. Gary Jones, who is her scientist. That's all good. I know they collaborate and put on this beautiful art show, and they display the art so amazing. Even the mission, that is from one of Jody's students. Am I correct, Jody?
Yeah.
And when I saw that mission, I was like, I remember, I don't know, parents, if I should say this, but hopefully you will all agree with me. When your kids were in 4th grade, did you help them? I can think of a couple of my kids. I practically built a darn thing. One year I did it out of sugar cubes.
Oh, that was a big mistake.
Yeah,
The
big
ants.
mistake. But this mission is probably one of the best missions I've ever seen in my career in education. So I had to borrow it, but I will return for sure that one. I'm sure they're.
I don't think she wants it, but it's okay.
Oh, really? Okay. Anyway, I wanted to read the plaque, and I'm going to read the plaque. It's the same inscription, just with obviously different names. So this is Above and Beyond Award presented to Miss Jody Feinstein and Mr. Gary Jones. In recognition of all your support to Southern Kern Unified School District, your passion for art is inspiring. The SKUSD Board of Trustees thank you for igniting a spark of creativity in the students at Rosemont Elementary School and for celebrating their work with the annual art show 2023-2024. And I know you've done it how many years now?
Maybe 6.
6 or 7.
6 or 7 years. So please, Jody, this is for you.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you. And Gary. This is for you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
This is a good time to ask you.
Okay, so we have FM3 research survey results for the FM3 representative, Mr. John Irving.
I'm not sure I want to follow those two creative presentations. Mine's going to be a little boring a little bit. Everybody see this? All right. My name's John Fairbank. I'm a partner in FM3 Research. I'm going to present just kind of quickly a few slides on a public opinion research survey we did of the voters in your district. And this is, we pull a sample from the voter registration files that your district has all, I assume everybody here is registered to vote and votes in every election. So we get a list of registered voters and we have a random sample of those, and the results you're going to see reflects the demographic profiles of your voters in your district. Okay. This survey was conducted from May 13th to the 21st. Again, likely November voters, only from your district. Can vote in your district. We did a sample of, we interviewed 331 complete interviews. Interviews are about 15-20 minutes. The full sample, the margin of error is about 5.7%, and then smaller sample sizes are about 8%. We do these surveys, the methodology these days is by email, telephone, landline, cell phones. We also text you, and the combination we usually do about, I think your survey was a half by phone and a half by email. We're just giving voters more opportunities to participate, and it's really working. Not everybody likes to talk on the phone. Not everybody likes to do online, so we have a combination. We get a good mix, and our refusal rate in surveys these days are down substantially because of that methodology. English and Spanish, if you wanted to do the interview, participate in English or Spanish, that was available. General, I have a couple just quick questions about general community attitudes. Do you feel that things in your area are headed in the right direction, or are they off on the wrong track? This is a question we're asking on all surveys these days. There are a few problems that are existing in everyone's life these days, so we're just trying to get an overall feel for right direction, wrong track. That's it. That's all we asked. You can see 42% said wrong track, 36% right direction, and mixed is about 22%. To give you a sense, I just finished a presentation today in LA County for a measure. LA County is same question, 58% wrong track, 22% right direction. The state is now at 60% wrong track, 23% right direction. So you're even though there's more wrong track than right track, you're probably one of the more right direction communities in the entire state. This is a question, generally speaking, would you say that Southern Kern Unified School District has a great need for additional funding, some need, a little need, or no real need for additional funding? We're trying to get, again, just a pretty simple, straightforward question. Do you think there's a need for additional funding for the school district? Okay, 72% said either a great or some need, very high number. 41% said a great need. In all of these questions, we're always trying to get level of intensity of responses. Strongly favor, strongly oppose. So this is great need, some need. You can see little need is only 4% and no real need is 9%. One of the lowest little or no real need that we've had in any survey. We're doing about 20 of these school districts throughout the state. So this is very low. The challenge here is to communicate voters that there is a need for funding. If you don't think there's a need for funding, you're probably not very likely to vote for a measure to generate more funding. Okay, you're going to see this number quickly. Initial attitudes on a school bond measure. As you know, on the ballot, when you go in, you will see a number of measures, and this is, we're legally allowed to put 75 words together so that your voters can get a feel for what the bond is. So this is the title we're suggesting. You can see the first 2 or 3 lines. Kind of gives the voter a sense of what you're going to do with the money in a kind of a general leaky roofs, aging restrooms, upgrade vocational career classrooms, asbestos, lead paint. I'm going to ask a little survey here. Out of all of these, which of these examples do you think comes up the highest as voters think is important to fund? Anybody?
Safety and security.
Safety and security high. You're going to see that clean drinking water and vocational career classrooms, the highest. I'll show you that question in a minute. Anyway, the last, here we tell them how much it is, 6 cents per $100. And then accountability is very important for voters these days. Voters want to know, what am I voting for? Tell me what it is. Who's going to watch it? Who's going to make sure it's spent effectively? So at the very end, we have requiring oversight, public spending disclosure, funds for local schools. We want to make sure your voters, this money stays in our local community, in our schools. The state doesn't get anything, the county doesn't get anything. So the idea is we're only limited to 75 words, is to explain it so that it's very clear and easily understood. So this is the vote from that 75 words. 71% support. You recall that 72% said there's a greater some need. These questions usually match up almost exactly. Again, if you don't think there's a need for additional dollars, you're probably not going to vote for a measure. So you have 71% support, 27% oppose. So you're over 2-1 support. This is a good start. Almost, again, intensity, definitely yes to definite no is almost 2-1. The stronger you're going to see, hopefully one of the goals is to increase that. Yes, sir.
How well does that actually predict how voters vote?
You know, we have about 95% success rate on surveys that we do, matching up to how the vote goes. These surveys, as you know, they're not to predict the end. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 months in this world and this country. All we're trying to do is we're trying to measure where your voters are now. And then if there's a campaign, we might come back and do a tracking survey in September or something to see where they are. But things are changing, as you all know. This is very topsy-turvy communities we all live in. But this is usually, again, for a community like yours that most voters know their school district. In some of the larger districts, we're doing San Diego Community College. A lot of them don't know that if they live in another city that is not their community college. Voters know and, again, understand the need. You can see there's no undecided here at the very end. We pushed the undecided a little bit, but initially you had 3% undecided lean yes, 4% lean no, and only 2% voters understand what this said, what it means. And some measures we're doing a number of statewide measures. We'll get sometimes 30-40% of the voters. I don't know what this measure tells me to do. I don't know who's going to get the money. So this is a good start for your measure. Just kind of quickly, homeowners and renters. 25% of your voters are renters. Among renters, 80% are supporting this measure. Okay? Generally younger voters. Many have families under 40. Homeowners. This is a homeowner community. No surprise to any of you. 64% of your voters are homeowners. But again, they're 2/3, 67%. I'm not going to go through all the demographics, but generally speaking, across your demographics, men, women, pretty strong support across the board like this. Okay, budget priorities. What we're trying to understand from voters is if a measure like this, they just finished hearing this measure and they said how they would vote on it. If a measure like this passed, what is important to you as a voter for each of the following? How important is it for the district to spend money on it? Okay, so we're trying to take many of those phrases you saw in the 75 words and isolate them to see which ones are the most important. Okay, so this question is extremely important, very important, somewhat important, or not too important for each of the following. These are all rotated. They're never asked in the same order. All questions are rotated. So each one of these, I've ranked these on those who said extremely very important. Retaining and attracting quality teachers. Now you can't spend your bond money on paying teachers. Sorry, teachers. But if you have up-to-date, safe schools and classrooms, you're going to attract and retain your quality teachers. So that's the top of the list. Teachers, obviously very important. Ensuring safe, clean drinking water. Water is a big issue across the world, the country, the state. We got a lot of problems all the way around, and this is usually number one in most surveys. making sure that there's drinking water that's safe, that's clear, that's clean for our kids. Removing asbestos and lead paint. Again, I'm not going to go through each one of these. Upgrading fire safety, disabled students, repairing leaky roofs. You can see all of these are very high, okay, in importance. We're in most districts, we're lucky to be in the mid 60s, low 70s on extremely very important. So again, when voters understand what the district is, who they are, more familiar with it, they're pretty clear what they want. And many of these items are very similar to what homeowners are going through right now. Everybody's worried about asbestos, lead paint, drinking water. Not so much the teachers, but some of the other repairs are more important. All right. Again, I'm not going to go through each one of these, but it's just kind of ranking all the way down. We tested quite a few. We'll use this question if you decide to go forward with your measure. We'll use this question to isolate and make sure those 75 words you saw at the beginning are match what is important to voters and what they want to spend it on. So that 75 words might change a little bit depending on, I don't think we have teachers? We didn't say attracting teachers. So what we might do is we might add that word and have to take a couple other words out. Anyway, that just gives you a feel for what's important to voters to spend the money on. Impact messaging. Then what we also do is we give, this is all in order that they're hearing it or on their email. I'm going to give you some statements from those who would support a measure like this. And for each one of these, could you please tell me whether each one is very convincing, somewhat convincing, or not too convincing to support this USD school measure? Okay. The capitalized career and accountability is not what they hear or see. I put that in there so we don't have to read the whole paragraphs, but it gives you a feel for career. This was the highest one. This is, again, most of our polls were maybe in the 40%, very convincing. I always like to get at least at 65. Yours are higher. Again, just like they said there was a need, just like they said very important to spend all of these items, these messages are very strong. So this is, can everybody read that? They go to college, need a career, technical, vocational education, career, vocational, making sure the high schools are preparing kids to go on. And this was an accountability. Usually this message is at the top. Voters are definitely want to know how this money is going to be spent, who's going to watch it, is it accountable? Okay, basic repairs. Basic repairs is this one. Again, we as you saw that important question. She's going to help me present. With basic repairs, we did individual items in that earlier question. Now we put them all together. Basic health and safety repairs, removing asbestos lead paint, fixing roofs, decaying walls, safe, clean drinking water, computer technology, improving safety measures. Okay, again, very strong. Your vote is at 71%, so these messages are right about your vote. 64% on growth, right? We're a growing community. We need these improvements. We need this safety. Growth and then safety specifically. This is a little lower in your district. You have a safe district. In some districts these days, more of the urban centers, this is second or third on the list. Okay, once they heard all of those messages from supporters, you saw the initial vote was 71 to 27. We then asked them again, same question, same 75 words, 72% to 27, pretty similar. The difference is 36% were definite yes. They heard the positive messages, and that's up 11%. We never have that going up 11%. If we can increase from the initial vote to the vote after positive information, if we can go from 36 to 39 to 41, terrific. We normally do not see, the closer you want to get to 55% and the definite yes, the safer chance of passing. Okay. So we also asked, I'm not going to put it on the screen, we also asked, gave them a negative paragraph from those who might oppose the measure. Talked about taxes, district wastes money, they could spend it more properly, no one's going to watch the money. There are a number of issues we said we want to try to simulate someone coming out and opposing the measure. And then we asked it the same 75 words again. And that someone spending $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 with a negative message has an effect. So you went from 71 to 72 down to 57. You need 55%. So we want to make sure that there is no opposition, especially nobody spends any money against you. Very important in all of these. Quick conclusions. I think I've hit most of these. We're recommending. We're doing 20 or so of those. We're also doing the polling for. Hopefully, there's going to be a statewide bond on the ballot, $14 billion, $11 to $14 billion for K through 14s. Hopefully, that gets on the ballot. If yours passes, I believe you have access to funding from that statewide measure. So there's a number of education measures on the ballot. Anyway, bond measure for Southern Kern Unified District is viable for the November 2024 ballot. Just want to make sure that you continue to provide information. You saw, again, some voters that thought you had little or no need or didn't know if you had money. So over the next few months, if we put this on the ballot, you want to make sure that they understand the need, how you might spend the money. Initial support was strong with 70%. Nearly the same percentage after voters heard additional information. Several themes are important to voters, including career training, fiscal accountability, making basic repairs. The measure holds above 55% after the threshold, simulating opposition. Again, we're just trying to watch voters move depending on the level of information they get. That's it. Any questions? She has a question. No. All right.
Here's a question right here.
Yes.
What are our next steps that you recommend?
Well, one of the things we're doing in most districts, you're doing public outreach. Before you put the measure on the ballot, you can communicate to your voters. You can't talk about a bond with public money, but the district can talk about money. You all can talk in your community about what the need is, how important it is, emphasizing some of these needs that you have and what you spend the money on. You can spend public education dollars, district dollars, until you put it on the ballot. Then you've got to put together a campaign. So, but the main thing is to just keep communicating on this need. The more that sense of need goes up, right? We just want to move these, right? What is that? 28% of your voters. And we want to move these to here. So the more information they have, and you can all register your 18-year-olds, register people. We want people to vote. As you know, we're worried about turnout. You have about 40% of your voters are under 40. You have a large younger population. There seems to be some controversies across the country at colleges, and younger voters I don't know how many high school kids are involved in, but there's some concern that we might not have some of these younger voters. We have 2 presidential candidates that are older. Not a lot of love for either one of them. So we're worried that a lot of younger voters don't come out. We want younger voters to come out. It's very important here to get them out to vote for this. Yes. No? Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, board member.
So starting off, let's work actually two more things. Our the first session is starting June 10th and ending June 28th, but they're taking a break, not a break. But the 19th there'll be no summer school that day because of Juneteenth. And then the next session will start July 8th to July 26th. And transportation will be available for students who rent bus routes. But they will be required to have their bus prove that they can bus. The Roseman Elementary PTA Roseman Elementary finished out their year with a dance sponsored by the PTA last Friday night. And then you were all there. Roseman High had their commencement ceremony on Tuesday, and class of 2024 consisted of 168 graduates. Oh, and then also, this is my successor, Adrian. He will be the student board member next year, and so he's here tonight.
Welcome. You have some big shoes to fill. Are you sure?
Just want to see how you.
You're going to start figuring out this board, so when you do, you'll fit right in. Addison, thank you for your year. You did a great job. I know we've had several discussions and that the expectations actually exceeded them what I felt that we need for the schools, student school board. So thank you.
Okay, anybody for RTA report? Nope. CSEA report? Nope. CBO report, Mr. Irving.
Alrighty, well, hard to follow up. Browsing, speak up. We're in June. It's the throes of figuring out next year's budget. I spent this morning up in Bakersfield at the county office with fellow CBOs from the county to get the latest and greatest and try and figure out what is happening in Sacramento. School services in California was at the county office to present information from May Revise to us, and then updates to what happened after May Revise, so that we can, get their insight and understanding of what is their perception of between their own lobbying efforts and everything else of what is happening in Sacramento, so that we have as much accurate information as possible prior to adopting a budget. And that is it for me.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Assistant Superintendent of Instruction and Curriculum, Dr. Mendez.
Yes, greetings everyone that joins us in person, also online. There, I'd like to share out that we continue to prepare for summer school, 2 sessions, and we extend school year as well. So we have our first session starting up on Monday, on the 10th. We're getting ready for Dr. Fisher, Dr. Douglas Fisher. He's going to be coming to visit us on Monday. We're going to have we're providing professional development to leadership. So the district and site admin that will be participating in the professional development. Also, Dr. Jonathan Gage from Kern County Superintendent Schools Office is also going to be joining us as well. Okay, so that's going to be on Monday. We're getting ready for our Solution Tree Professional Learning Community and Avid Professional Development, which will take place over the summer. We're going to have a PLC taking place in Los Angeles, end of June, and then Avid towards the end of July, beginning of August, and that's in San Diego. And then we continue to plan for the 24-25 school year, including when the teachers come back. We're going to have Sarah Scholl from Solution Tree as one of our keynote speakers / presenters, and she'll be here on August 12th. That concludes my report, but I also want to thank everyone for their support throughout throughout the year, helping our students progress, reach their goals. Also to our students that presented and committed to the finals of the Oral Language Festival, as well as all the promotions and ceremonies. Also ACES, want to mention ACES, a lot of work that they've done with our students after school, including our coordinators, Chrissy Kupo, we have Tanya Long and Caitlin Cobbett, and also the instructors that helped out with ACES. So want to recognize our ACES programs and everything we've done throughout the year as well. That concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Assistant Superintendent of Special Education and Pupil Personnel, Ms. Taylor.
Hello, everybody. I first want to say, and they're gone already, so that's sad, but what great presentations from our oral language presenters tonight. They are very talented, so that was exciting. And Madison, what a great year with you. You always had the greatest information from every school site with a smile on your face as always. So you'll be missed. And welcome, new student board member. And as far as our department goes, we're getting ready for extended school year to start and summer school sessions. We are still expanding on our new curriculum, which is the N2Y program. And we're preparing for our social emotional learning activities that will be going on at each campus this summer. This summer, we're going to be focusing on self-esteem, coping skills, and peer relationships. And that's it for me.
Those seem very important.
Yes.
Yes, they do. Okay, thank you. Associate Superintendent of Human Resources, Mrs. Harding.
It's been a busy week. I just want to say congratulations to all of our graduating seniors and our promoting eighth graders as we move on to their next journey. HR, we're working hard to fill all of our open positions, and we've been working with the school sites to make sure that we have all of our teachers and staff that we need for summer school.
Thank you. Superintendent support, Mrs. Gaines.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and good evening to those parents and community members joining us from home. I first want to say that we've had a lot of graduation and promotions this past week, and I want to thank, first of all of my school sites because they were very nicely done, and I don't know, there's something about a graduation ceremony that just makes you want to cry. I try not to, but the kids were so giddy and nervous, and I kept telling the girls, don't cry, your mascara. It was like they had that aha moment, like, right. But they were very, very nice. The weather was beautiful for the high school ceremony. 7 o'clock was, I think, perfect. And I want to congratulate all the students who graduated and promoted in the class of 2024. And our young people who competed in the oral language, wow. I was one of the judges, and it was not easy. It was not easy. I really, really enjoyed them all, and to see us have some winners in Bakersfield, that's really phenomenal. So congratulations to all the kids. Outstanding job. We have finished testing, and I'm afraid to say anything because where's Dan? He's over there. I might jinx the test scores, and I'm just gonna put it this way. It's looking favorable for us. I think that's favorable is not too strong of a word. So we'll see. We should get our more final results when, Dan?
Well, the official results will come out later in the summer.
Later in the summer. Okay. So far, we're favorable. So that's something that we do many things really well, but when it comes down to how well we educate our children, and that's what it's really all about. So that's very exciting. And I have to just thank the Cadet Corps because it's not often I get a present, and they brought me a present today. It's a plaque Captain Wallace and some of the cadets did, and, yeah, so sort of thanking you for support, but, you know, who could not support the cadet corps, right? They're just an amazing group of kids, so, yeah, this is gonna be a new addition to my office. I was very, very happy to receive that. Yeah, sir, thank you for your report. It's promising also. We'll see how that goes. And I think that's it.
Thank you. Okay, board member communications. I will start with you, Mr.
Okay. Again, congratulations to all the graduates. I got to go to the promotion ceremonies and the graduation ceremonies. They were great. All the admins really did a really great job putting it on, and your staff that you used. Mr. Bagnett, your speech at graduation was pretty awesome. I like that. And congratulations to Ms. Feinstein and Mr. Jones on your accomplishment. I saw the art show, it was amazing. We saw you guys there, but yeah, good job. And Madison, thank you for, I won't serve with you very long, but you've been excellent and look forward to our department as well. So, thanks.
Adrian.
Good evening, everyone. I have a few notes, so I'm not all over the place. Congratulations to the students in the oral language program, and thank you for their performance. I thought it was amazing. Again, it takes a lot of courage to do that. They're very young, so they did a really good job. I also am glad that I had the pleasure of taking part of all of the graduations, promotions, whatever we want to call them. I think it was, getting to shake everyone's hand. Madison, good luck going to college. I know that's going to be very exciting for you. A lot of new experiences that, not just you, but all of the graduating classes and the students, the freshmen, that is something new. So good luck. I wish everyone well in that. I know summer school is set to begin, so everyone enjoy your weekend. If you want to call it that, yeah.
1 week.
Yeah, a couple days. That's pretty much it. Oh, and welcome. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Winslet.
Okay, Joni, I have to apologize for not being able to make the art show. Are you gonna I will definitely try. And the reason why I like to go to those is just because I used to run a very large creative organization, so it's always nice to see where our new students and are heading, and they all do a good job. And of course, Gary, as usual, keep up your good work out there too. I know we've had several interactions, and you've actually helped me on a few things, and we're still going to keep working on safety, security.
Yeah, we can't get by without Gary.
No, I don't even plan on it. Also, the graduation, it was fantastic. The students I know and over the years, Ryan Melchers is going into the Air Force, and he's going to be right down there with my number 3 son, who lives in San Antonio. So, and I believe the school will be there, so I'm going to set it up so he and my son will get together because his father-in-law is a was a pararescue, and he's got an interest in that. So I want to make sure they get together and talk about that. So I want to congratulate everybody. Our school district is moving forward in leaps and bounds. We want to continue that. Everybody's getting great training. Everybody's getting, and we see the progress from here. And we're going to do everything we can to help keep that progress going as the boards come up here. And Mr. Barsneff is finally getting his audio system for the gymnasium. We will meet tomorrow with the installers and do a walkthrough and we're looking forward to getting that done and then onward and then for the tropical middle school. So, but I've had a hand into that, but I also had all I did was provide the information to the company Sweetwater and the other one up in Visalia, the installer. We got some great folks that we should have a great system when we get it done. And other than that, I'm going to turn it forward to you, Sunny.
Just one. Okay. Congratulations to the oral language kids. They are amazing. Every year they run a show for us, and I'm always amazed that they can actually talk. And you couldn't have got me to speak in front of people. I mean, it took years, like maybe just 20 years ago, I was able to speak in front of people. All the graduations were amazing. Promotions, whatever you want to call them. Seeing the look on all those kids' face, it's the highlight of the year. All year long we do all kinds of other stuff, but the graduation is the highlight. So, in every school did a great job, prepping everything for a great thank you. Thanks to all the maintenance people. Man, you guys worked your butt off this week, getting everything ready and then taking it all back down. So, thank you. I'm going to stop there and then I can go into construction after you're done.
Okay, we can do that. Okay, so congratulations to the graduating class of 2024. Congratulations, seniors. Welcome to the world. Get ready. It's a little fun, you know? But whatever steps you guys take, whatever path you take, we're always here. Okay? I did love the sermons. I loved seeing the faces, like, oh my God, I did it, some tears. And I was like, keep it in, girl. It's good. All right, come on, make it across the stage. And then the 8th graders who were promoted to high school. Good luck, guys. Good luck. Good luck. It is summer break, so enjoy your time if you're taking some time. I did want to say something. Well, congratulations to the girls who left, Aubrey and Audrey. Esteban was here. Congratulations to all the kids. I got to participate in Water Day at West Park for the 1st graders, and those kids are coming for us. I was like, hey, let me just hold your water balloons. They're like, we don't care. It was a lot of fun, though. It was really fun. It was a really good time. The kids had a really great time, so I love that. I think we did a really good job with this school year, 2023, 2024. It's a wrap, and I have no complaints. Just moving forward, looking forward. These kids have a lot of things coming their way, and they're very fortunate. So remember that, guys. Subcommittee communications.
Construction has been going along really good and really fast towards the end now. Tropico will be done hopefully in about a month. And we will be able to turn it over to the school on the 27th. Sure. July. That's what the plan date is. And then we can start getting all that stuff done. What has happened in the last 6 months has just been amazing. This is a project that has taken over 10 years in the process to finally get the state to let us get this stuff done. And it's been a lot of work. And then the cafeteria at the high school, it's moved along really well. A few hiccups here and there, but it's going. We should have stucco here in about a week or two. And they're still working on all the inside stuff. A lot of work inside. But they're telling us that we can hopefully have it in about 8 more months. And that it'll be amazing. I ate the cafeteria for 50 kids in there. And on a rainy day, it had a stand along the walls because there was nowhere to hide. I can't wait.
I'm excited.
Me too. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got.
Any other subcommittee communications or updates? None? All right.
I'd like to say thank you to the seniors for all the little mini
Thank
duckies.
you.
I know they were in some house too, but.
Yeah.
Well, they had a lot more ducks and they were confiscated, people are all mad, whatever. We would have gotten a lot more ducks.
You know what?
We got it covered.
They were great, but I took them home to my wife, and we had this duck thing going on for about 10 years. One of these days I'll explain it, but I went home and said, honey, all the seniors at the high school sent you these, and I put them out on the table. She looked at me and she goes, you didn't tell everybody about the duck thing.
Not yet.
This was the 3rd year that they were doing something. Mario got a whole bunch of golf balls. I loved it. And so forth. And the comment I wanted to make, and it kind of made it a little bit to Mr. Rusher. And this is something for you as being a student board member. We don't mind these little things like that. Just keep it clean, keep it, nice. We like it.
They were told you hated the golf balls.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I still have some that I play with, especially
Just kind of come on.
Kenny doesn't need it. I like color viewers because I'm really bad about losing them.
That's what I said. So put them on the lake, don't mean you hate them.
It's true. Let's go swimming.
So we just want to let the folks know, hey, something like that,
We don't.
let the kids have fun. That's what it is. It's all about the kids. So now you know, Mr. Reisman, but we really like it. As long as you know what you're doing. I think that's what the issue is. A lot of times administration doesn't know what's going on. As long as you guys know what it's doing, that way you can, if it's something that's really questionable, you get a chance to stop.
And they keep it a surprise.
Yes, I know. It's not, we know it's not your fault. Don't worry about it.
Sunny, you did a great job. I had a perfect view of picture time, and there were a few kids who had to grab them, spin them around in a circle, get back here, you need a picture. Your mom wants this picture. And they're like, we're out of here, we gotta go.
That was really cute.
It's like, come on, guys, let's get this shot. Okay.
Okay, comments from the public.
Yes, we have one.
My name's Brian Benner. I'm here on behalf of my wife, Barbara Hollis. It's been such a positive meeting. But she's been a driver in transportation for 9 years. And 3 years ago, supervisor was hired. That was the sister of 2 drivers and the sister-in-law of myself. I'm not sure. It's no one else I know in the public employment system is even allowed that. But apparently, I was told that you guys are the governing board, so I would have to address this concern with you. So I'll just hand you these, and you guys can go over them. And then catch you and discuss the response.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public?
No.
None? Okay, consent items A through U. Any questions? Do you wanna?
Yes. Okay. You want to go sit this for you, right? Dan, this is a question for you and so forth on the purchase of the notebooks. How much do we use the warranties? what is this looks like, how we use the warranty, and is the cost of the warranty validated by the, how much we have to repair these?
Yes, we use the warranties extensively. The purchase is for 1,325 Chromebooks. 800 of those Chromebooks are for Tropical Middle School. Carmen can attest. The kids at the middle school do a lot of damage to the Chromebooks, so we make extensive use of that warranty. So my recommendation is to have the extended warranty. Once the Chromebooks are out of warranty, we're not able to fix them, and we relegate them to spare status. So now that we got a 3-year warranty on the current fleet of Chromebooks at the middle school, they're out of warranty, and once we're not able to fix them, we're not really able to use them anymore. So we're still able to use some of them, but they get relegated to spare status. So we're replacing 800 Tropical Middle School Chromebooks. We're not getting any spares. We have about 800 students at Tropical Middle School. So the old Chromebooks will be used as spares. So this is something that we've considered in the past. What Brandon was talking about, should we get, instead of getting an expensive warranty, why don't we just get more Chromebooks? But per our analysis, we believe that it's more cost effective to get the extended warranty. A lot of the Chromebooks, this way, when a Chromebook gets damaged, a kid pulls a key, even small damage, we're able to get the Chromebook repaired and keep it going. A lot of Chromebooks get repaired on more than one occasion. So for whatever reason, and I don't mean to throw the middle school under the bus, middle school students are very hard on their Chromebooks. I think I believe another neighboring district tried to give their middle school students Chromebooks to take home, and they scrapped the program after 1 year because the kids just destroyed their Chromebooks. Our students, because of this extended warranty that covers accidental damage protection, and this will be for 4.5 years, we're able to have a take-home Chromebook program for the middle school. We're able to keep the Chromebooks in circulation. I don't know this for a fact. I haven't done an analysis of it in several years, but I believe the extended warranty is more cost effective than having spare Chromebooks. This way, instead of buying spare Chromebooks, we use our old out of warranty Chromebooks as the spares. The 4.5-year warranty will let us keep the Chromebooks for nearly 5 years. So I recommend going with the extended warranty.
Thank you. So it's the middle school. Yeah.
It's a combination. Yeah, that's, and it's perfectly fine. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for consent items? Jordan? Yes, so he made a comment, he wants us to read this, and he may come back to revisit them. That was yes, okay. Okay, he was like, I want to. Okay, consent items A through U, do I hear a motion? With the corrections for item D. Oh, with the corrections for item D. A motion by Ms. Sledge, second by? Yes. Well, yeah. Second, all in favor? Aye. Okay. General, all right, public hearing on the proposed local control and accountability plan, LCAP, Mr. Wexler.
Hi, I'm going to give a presentation about the Local Control Accountability Plan, or LCAP. Okay, what is the LCAP? LCAP is the Local Control Accountability Plan. It's the district's educational and funding plan. It focuses on meeting the needs of our unduplicated students. Unduplicated students are our English learners, our foster youth, and our low socioeconomic status students, and that comprises about 82 to 83% of our students. Okay, our LCAP has 4 goals. Those goals are: number 1, increase academic achievement for all students. Number 2, develop a healthy school climate that meets the social, emotional, and economic needs of all students. Goal number 3, engage families and community in effective educational partnerships. And goal number 4 is our new goal. It's our equity multiplier goal. It's for Abe Lincoln and Rare Earth, and it's to provide academic and social emotional support to our alt-ed students. We'll talk more about that. The LCAP is developed through long-term collaboration with a number of different groups. The LCAP, it's not just like the cabinet or me sitting and writing the LCAP. It's done in collaboration and communication with a number of groups. And we get feedback from a number of groups, and we take that feedback and we integrate that feedback into the LCAP. So the process of developing the LCAP is working with the community, getting feedback, and having that feedback inform the LCAP. We have a number of different forums where we get feedback. That includes the weekly cabinet meetings where we discuss the LCAP every week. The LCAP committee, which consists of parents, teachers, administrators, and CSEA staff members. And we meet about twice a month for the second half of the school year. And I want to give a big thanks to the LCAP committee. We couldn't develop the LCAP without the LCAP committee. We get a bunch of feedback from the LCAP committee that gets integrated into the LCAP. We have board presentations. We gave a mid-year board presentation, and this is our end-of-year board presentation. Oh, and I should also mention that we're still soliciting feedback. So if during this presentation you have a question or a comment, please raise your hand or wait until the end, and let's get more feedback. We have the LCAP survey. We had about 550 responses to the LCAP survey. The most fruitful portion of the LCAP survey is the open-ended questions where we ask people, what can the school district do to improve academic achievement for all students? Questions like that. We get feedback. We take that feedback, share it with the LCAP committee, discuss it, and find insights that we can integrate into the LCAP. And every year we get a lot of feedback from the LCAP survey that we integrate into the LCAP. The LCAP is an agenda item on the school side council meetings. We presented the LCAP to the DLAC and got feedback from the DLAC. The LCAP is an agenda item on the district advisory committee, and we get consistent feedback from the district advisory committee as well. Okay. Some highlighted input that we got from the LCAP committee. Goal 3, Action 5, supplies for students and families. We increased the budget and provide additional supplies to students and families, and that's going to go through the Parent Community Center. We also increased the budget for the classroom supplies. For Goal 1, Action 1, PLCs, we added that the district will pay teachers 2 hours a week of supplemental pay for meeting after school for the PLCs, and that's optional. And then for summer school, we added the district will offer teacher-led classes and enrichment classes. Okay, input that we got from the LCAP survey that we integrated into the LCAP. Goal 2, Action 8, campus safety officers. Additional training for CSOs, including training of new CSOs before they are assigned to a school and retaining experienced CSOs. Goal 2, Action 12, the attendance incentive program. We changed to student incentives, and we're now including the achiever trips in Goal 2, Action 12, and we increased the budget. The LCAP survey suggested that the district pay for all 6th grade students to attend Camp Keep, so we added a new action called Camp Keep, which will fund all 6th grade students to attend Camp Keep. The LCAP survey suggested the district purchase updated equipment for recess and playgrounds. This was written as a new action. Okay, at the beginning of the LCAP is the plan summary section, and that gives us the opportunity to write about programs in the district that are particularly effective, that we're particularly proud of. First is the CTE program, where we have 12 pathways that include concentrator and capstone courses. Then is the technology program, where we have one-to-one devices for all students. Students in grades K through 1 have an iPad. Students in grades 3 through 4 have a Chromebook. Students in grades 5 through 12 have a Chromebook that they take home. WASC accreditation. In 2020, the high school received a 6-year WASC accreditation. In 2021, Abe Lincoln and Rare Earth received WASC accreditations through 2025. And finally, we have 185 high school students, or about 22%, took a dual enrollment college course. Okay, here are some actions that we're particularly proud of in the LCAP. We have an after-school music program at RES in West Park. We have an after-school academic academy at all school sites. The cadet program has been expanded to the middle school. The PE program at the elementary schools are led by credentialed PE teachers, and they use the LDT-PE program. We've expanded the printed library collections at the middle school and the high school and added a library media technician at both sites. We're expanding the classroom libraries. We have a new multi-purpose room for the high school, which will provide a state-of-the-art space for a variety of school events. And then we have 2 new actions. One is a new locker room for the high school, or revamping the boys and girls locker rooms. And the next is a new weight room for the high school. Okay. When talking about the LCAP, we need to also talk about the dashboard. So this is an overview of the dashboard, and I'll go into each metric. The reason why the dashboard is so relevant to the LCAP is because the dashboard is like the California School District gold standard for school district metrics and data. And we use the dashboard data as metrics to evaluate our goals and actions throughout the LCAP. So in order to fully understand the LCAP, we need to have, I want to do a little review of the dashboard. First of all, this is the 2023-24 school dashboard. So this is the current year's dashboard. It's looking at the previous year's data, the data from 2022-23. The dashboard, the metrics are on a 5-point scale. The lowest is red, being a 1, then is orange 2, yellow 3, green 4, and blue 5. The way those are calculated is they use 2 data sources. The first is performance in the current year, or it's actually in last year's data. And then how did it compare to the previous year? Did it get better or did it get worse? And they factor those 2 in together to get the value for the metric. I'll just let you look at this for a second before I get into each one individually. I do want to point out that these are local performance indicators. There's no state level quantitative data to evaluate these, so districts do a self-reflection, and we give ourselves, we earn the standard met for each one of the local performance indicators. Let me jump into look at each metric individually. Chronic absenteeism, we scored a yellow. Chronic absenteeism is students, a chronically absent student is a student who's absent 10% of the time or more, which is once every 2 weeks or more. So 33.2% of our students last year were chronically absent. That's a decline for chronic absenteeism. A decline is good. That's a decline of 5.6%. So we wound up in the yellow. For this year, our chronic absenteeism rate is about 28%, so it's another decline of 5%. So that will at least keep us in the yellow and possibly move us into the green. Next is suspension rate. The data for the 2022-23 school year was very bad for suspension rate. We had 9.2% of our students were suspended at least 1 day, an increase of 3%. That's 1 out of 11 students in the district was suspended at least once. This year, I have good news. Our suspension rate is 6.2%. That's an improvement of 3%. So that will definitely get us out of the red, at least into the orange. Possibly the yellow, but I would bet on orange. English learner progress, 43.9% of our EL students made progress. That's an increase of 4.1%. They're in the yellow. Graduation rate, 84.1% of our seniors graduated. That's a decline of 3.4%, orange. College and career readiness. They're using the cell phone status indicator because they didn't have previous year's data. 19.6% of our high school seniors that graduated were prepared for college or career. English language arts. This is last year's CASP data for ELA in the red, 70.6 points below standard, a decline of 6.9 points. Our preliminary data for CASP ELA is an improvement of 8 points. All you need is an improvement of 3 points to get you out of the red and into the orange. I'm highly confident that we'll get out of the red and into the orange for next year for ELA. For math, we were 107.8 points below standard. We were in the red, not really a decline or an increase. I have good news for math. Our preliminary CASP scores show an increase of 10 points. So that will get us out of the red and into the orange. Okay, now let's move into the individual goals and actions and metrics. So goal number 1 is academic achievement. Every goal has metrics that are used to evaluate our performance in that goal or in those specific actions. For academic achievement, obviously the CASP scores are going to be the main indicator or the main metric for academic achievement. We've already talked about that. We were in the red for ELA and for math. Our goal for ELA and for math is an improvement of 5 points per year. So we're on track to meet that goal already for next year. So we're going to look at the actions. There's about 65 actions in the LCAP. We're just going to look at the most important actions, the big budget actions. And when we look at the funding, we're not just looking at LCFF funding, we're also including state and federal funds. So action 1, professional learning communities. We have a budget of $382,000. PLCs are really central to what we do educationally as a district. We believe very strongly in the efficacy of PLCs. We have a contract with Solution Tree to provide professional development and ongoing coaching for our PLCs. Action 4, reading intervention, a $416,000 budget. We use Read 180 for our reading intervention program for grades 6 through 12. We use iReady for our reading intervention program for grades 3 through 5. We use Success for All and Lightning Squad for our reading intervention program for grades K through 2. Action 5, CTE program, $1,314,000 budget. We have 12 pathways that have both concentrator and capstone courses. After school programs, $991,000 budget. This is for RES West Park in the middle school. This covers the ACES program and clubs. Action 7, academic counseling, $425,000 budget. We have 2 counselors at the high school and 1 counselor at the middle school. Action 9, summer school, which starts on Monday. We have a $477,000 budget. We have 2 3-week summer school sessions. We have an extended school year program for the special education students. We provide transportation to and from summer school. We provide breakfast, snack, and lunch to our summer school students. Action 13, paraeducators. We have a $652,000 budget. We've got 11 general education paraeducators at the elementary level, 2 at Alt Ed, 1 at the middle school, and 3 at the high school. Action 14, one-to-one devices. We have a $796,000 budget. As we've talked about, we'll be purchasing 1,325 Chromebooks to replace the Chromebooks that are out of warranty. This also pays for the school site information system technicians who support the technology programs at the school sites. Shout out to Gary for doing a great job in our apps. Action 22, interventionists, $450,000 budget. We'll pay for 3 interventionists for next year. They provide support to students individually, small groups of students, and teachers. Okay, goal 2, develop a healthy school climate that supports the social, emotional, and physical needs of all students. Okay, the first main metric for goal 2 is chronic absenteeism. As we talked about, we're in the yellow. 33.2% of students are chronically absent, an improvement of 5.6%. And this year we've improved by another 5% down to 28% chronic absenteeism. And then this is our suspension metric that we talked about. We're in the red. 9.2% of our students were suspended during the 22-23 school year. We've improved on that by 3% during the 23-24 school year. There's a lot of big ticket actions in goal number 2. We have action number 2, mental health services, $1,384,000 budget. We have 5 school psychologists, 3 therapists, 2 BCBAs, and 1 social emotional learning specialist. Action 3, additional nurses, $377,000 budget. This pays for additional licensed vocational nurses and 1 RN who support the district, support each school. Extracurricular activities. This is for the middle school and the high school. This is $461,000 budget. This pays for extracurricular activities such as music, sports, robotics, mathletes, and a variety of clubs. Action 8, campus safety officers, $1,192,000 budget. CSOs establish positive relationships with students and play an integral role in establishing a healthy climate at each school site. Action 9, transportation, $2,246,000 budget. We offer bus service to and from school. We've added additional bus routes. We've added additional buses. We've increased the area of service for our buses. We provide transportation for the after-school program. We've added 3 full-size buses, and we're hiring 3 additional drivers. Action 10, facilities, $1,393,000 budget. We have additional facility and support operations staff, including custodial and maintenance, who provide a clean, safe, and secure learning environment for all students. We have extra custodians to support additional food services and after-school programs. We have about 6 custodians per campus, and those are partially funded through the LCAP. Action 11, the California Cadet Corps, $279,000 budget. We've expanded the California Cadet Corps from the high school to the middle school, and they develop student leadership abilities. They promote academic excellence and teach basic military concepts. Action 13, assistant principals. Thank you, Amy Banahan, for being a great assistant principal. We have a $1,150,000 budget. The assistant principals support the academic programs as well as supporting the behavioral needs of the students. Okay, here are our new actions for Goal 2. Action 20, Camp Keep, $200,000 budget. We're providing funding for all 6th grade students to attend Camp Keep. Action 21, new locker rooms for Rosemont High Early College campus, $2.5 million budget. We will revamp the locker rooms for the boys and girls at the high school. Action 22, a weight room, $1.5 million budget. We'll construct a new weight room at the high school. And Action 23, new playground supplies, $20,000 budget for playground supplies for all the school sites. Goal number 3, engage families and community in effective educational partnerships. The metric that I used comes from the California School Parent Survey. Every fall, we give the California Healthy Kids Survey to students in grades 7, 9, and 11. As part of this, we administer the California School Parent Survey, which goes out to all parents and guardians in the district. So we do our own surveys here. We just need,
Looks pretty good.
yeah, we use SurveyMonkey, but not for the California Healthy Kids Survey. Okay. So the question is, did you attend a school or class event? 44% of parents, guardians responded yes. So that's only 44% of the parents, guardians attended a school event. And then we had the question, and it's a Likert scale. Do you strongly disagree, neutral, agree, or strongly agree? Parents feel welcome to participate at this school. 62% of the parents or guardians replied strongly agree or agree. So this is an area where we could use some growth.
Dan, does that survey come in Spanish as well?
That's the California Healthy Kids Survey. I don't think they do it in Spanish as well. I think it's just in English.
I think they do. I think we have.
The California School Parent Survey?
Yeah, that's like at the very beginning of the year.
And you said it's 7th, 9th, and 11th.
7th, 9th, and 11th grade. Yeah, the California Healthy Kids Survey is just in English. You know what? I'm sorry. I believe the California School Parent Survey is in Spanish as well. They have a drop-down menu and they can select the language.
Okay.
But the California Healthy Kids Survey is in English. Okay. Goal 3, Action 5, supplies for students and families, $105,000 budget. So we've increased the budget for school supplies. It's going through the Parent and Community Center, and we've added a $350 budget for every class, for every teacher.
Thank you.
Okay, finally is our equity multiplier question. This is for our equity multiplier goal. This is for Abe Lincoln and Rare Earth. They've both been identified as equity multiplier school sites. We're going to provide additional academic and social emotional support for Abe Lincoln and Rare Earth high school students. So the question is, what does it mean to be in the equity multiplier program? How did we get into the equity multiplier program? First of all, it's a good thing to be in the equity multiplier program. We get a budget of about $250,000 to spend on Rare Earth and Abe Lincoln. The way that we have been identified to be in the equity multiplier program is 2 metrics. First is called the non-stability rate, which means students who started at Rare Earth or Abe Lincoln and moved out of the schools, or students who started at a different school and transferred into Abraham Lincoln or Rare Earth, which is kind of the nature of the beast of how alt ed works. Students are consistently transferring in and out. The second metric is a socioeconomically disadvantaged rate of 70% or greater. and we met that criteria. So that's how we got into the equity multiplier program. So like the other goals, there are metrics. Here are the metrics for rare earth. 15% of rare earth students were suspended at least once on the current dashboard. So the goal is to decrease the suspension rate 1% annually. And then for ELA on the CASP, we want to improve by 5 points annually. And for math CASP, we want to improve 5 points annually as well. And that's our baseline. And same for Abe Lincoln, except for there's no suspension rate because Abe Lincoln students don't really get suspended. We want to increase their CASP scores for ELA and for math by 5 points annually. And there's the baseline. And then we had an equity multiplier committee meeting, which consisted of every teacher, every ALTED teacher, the ALTED administrator, an ALTED para, and myself. And we determined 2 actions that we believe will help support the academic as well as the social emotional needs of the ALTED students. So action 1 is a mental health therapist. We have a $150,000 budget. The mental health therapist will provide counseling and mental health services, and I believe that position is already filled. And then action 2 is tutoring. We have a $65,000 budget. I believe that position is already filled. The tutor will provide one-on-one tutoring to students who need additional academic support. That concludes my presentation. Are there any questions or comments? Yes, Jody.
You said most of it, all campuses have 6 custodians. We've got 4. We've never had 6. And I don't think West Park is any more than that. I mean, and they work their butts off, as you know.
Okay. I don't think I said each school site. Did I say each school site has 6? About 6.
And we're not about at all.
Okay. Do you know how many the other schools?
But that's
Suresh, how many?
$250
Okay. So I'll meet with Barbara in the cabinet and we'll talk about custodians and making sure we have enough custodians. Okay, other questions, comments? Yes, sir.
Sounds like a new bond would address some of your goals, especially goal 2, right? The gyms and the new money would help you achieve some of these elements.
Yeah, it would help us with a lot of our facilities needs.
I know that, but I mean specifically some of those items.
I agree. Yes.
You mentioned at the very beginning of the presentation that the graduation rate has declined. Do you think this is because of the impact that we had on specifically my class as freshmen?
Suresh, can I defer that question to you?
Yeah, I think there was some small margin of error with CalPAD's reporting, so it didn't show the right amount on the dashboard. That is being addressed this year, right?
I think that's a good theory that it's COVID related, because the graduation rate was always hovered around 87-88% for us. And it dipped down to, I believe, 83.7%. So yeah, I think that's a reasonable theory that it's COVID related. Other questions, comments? Yes, sir.
So just this week, I spoke with people who have not graduated, like a handful of them, and the reasons that they told me were just working, like not enough money and income. That was a lot of the reasons they told me they didn't graduate. So
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments?
I have a question about action 2.8, the campus safety officers. So it shows that you have so it says in this that they will receive training.
Yes.
From that. And so how do we know that they are in fact receiving this training before the?
That's going to be coordinated through the HR department. The HR department will make sure that
Because
there's training that the HR department provides for CSOs, and the HR department will provide additional training.
And so I guess Ms. Vargas, does that happen?
I believe it's an online training that they participate in.
And
If
then
you want any input, that's not effective.
Yeah.
From what we see on our campus, just the gross one, that is not effective at all.
And they all are CPI trained as well.
That part's fine, but the overall of what they are supposed to be doing and what they are doing is not being addressed properly.
Is it the same training, is this new training and more training, or is it the same training that they've had for the previous years?
I believe it's been the last couple of years, I'm not 100% sure.
And so the HR training is the only training they're getting, so they get on campus and they're like, all right, I gotta get to work.
Well, and the site administrators will
Right, tell them like what they require, what they need them to do, and kinda
So it's like a
guide
continual
them.
repeating of the same thing over and over again, and it doesn't change.
Something we may have to look at.
Okay, okay. Does anyone else have any questions for Dan?
Yeah, here's another one. So student feedback. So I read it somewhere in here that you send out like a lot of the surveys to parents and community, things like
Yes.
that. So the student feedback, who does that go to? Because I think
student
that's very
feedback-
important.
The student feedback comes from the LCAP survey. I believe we had about 100 students who responded to the LCAP survey. It's just high school students, they're the only ones with email addresses. So,
So it's not the middle school.
no, just the high school. So the student feedback is in the LCAP survey, and we analyze the LCAP survey. So that's how we get student
Google
feedback.
Docs to the different teachers and given out like you do for the other stuff we have to do for, I realize it's not elementary school kids, but then you get the middle school students buy-in possibly.
I think the middle school is the valuable source of information. So if we could
Okay,
possibly get something there.
Or maybe a different survey.
Yes.
Was it sent out to all students?
just high school students.
So I can't comment, but all the high school students there,
Yes.
that might be for you and ASB to push to get these students to answer down the line, so something to be, we're giving you lots of ideas now.
They need an incentive,
Yes.
it's like buying food at PTA events, maybe they'll show that.
If you focus on,
We could easily share the LCAP survey with the middle school students. I just haven't in the past, but I'll make note of that, and we can send the LCAP survey to the middle school students.
Okay, yeah, I think that'd be great.
Dan, on your gymnasium, the locker rooms and that, way back before your time, we were looking at locker room, new gym, all that stuff. And I'd like to give you some ideas later about what was discussed for the locker room, especially dealing with sports officials.
Okay.
So I'll give you an idea, just to throw it in, I can work with anybody that wants to, give some ideas. Try that.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good work.
Okay, so we are going to recess and open, the public hearing. The time is 8:42, so if anybody has any
All right.
questions or concerns or would like to mention anything about the LCAP.
The last 15 minutes.
Yeah, I got it, I was like, shouldn't we have done that before?
Probably, but we still gotta do, open up the research. Okay, I'll move that we open public hearing.
Motion by Ms. Lutz, seconded by Ms. Harris, all in favor? Aye.
So the time really is 8:40.
Does anybody have any questions?
Please see previous minutes.
There you go. Move to we close, go back to close,
Motion by Ms. Lutz, close.
close the public hearing.
No, okay.
Seconded by Ms. Harris, all in favor? Aye. Time is 8:43. Okay, so, public hearing on the district budget, Mr. Irving.
We did open very,
Who was that?
it was quick.
Yeah.
That closed it. Yeah, we closed both. Now we're,
I was connected.
now we're gonna, now we get to the real, rounds.
Alrighty, so my presentation is going to be more of a macro overview of everything because we are very early in the month of June and the legislature has not given much indication of any of what their, plans are. We know what the governor's plan is, but no, whether or not the legislature agrees, I don't know yet. So right now, we're in a phase of just a lot of uncertainty. The 2023 taxes weren't filed until November as opposed to April. With all the flooding and everything that happened in December, January 23, things got pushed back to October, and then they were pushed back to November, which, led to at least roughly a $26 billion shortfall in the state in terms of revenues because the budget was passed a year ago, the end of June last year, with a estimate of what the tax revenues were going to be, and then nearly 6 months later, we found out, oh, cool, none of those numbers lined up the way they should have. As part of the shortfall in revenue, and the schools were overfunded by $8.8 billion with Prop 98. Prop 98 is a statutory formula that is the meat and potatoes of school budget for public schools. It's about 40 cents of every dollar in tax revenue. Prop 98 distributes through Prop 98 is the formula that distributes that to K-14 education. So for our TK through 12th grade here, and then the community colleges as well. So there's a lot of questions right now of, with the shortfall this large, an overpayment of money we've already received, what is the next step? The legislature and the governor both. The thing we do know is that they're trying to keep education as insulated as possible, so that most of the rough cuts will be happening on things that we haven't been given funding for yet, or on the other side of the state budget of, roads, police, human health services, the other half of the state budget that, doesn't get Prop 98 money. So initially the governor had what he called a maneuver for Prop 98 of that $8.8 billion that we were given. Basically, the state will treat it as if it was a loan, an interest-free loan of, we got the money now. They're not going to do any deferrals. We're not going to have to pay extra money on top of that for this upcoming school year. But in a couple of years, districts will slowly start paying that back. And CTA and CSBA both, started, raising a lot of red flags, starting with, hey, that's unconstitutional. That's not how Prop 98 works. There's other mechanisms to do things that, don't involve circumventing the Constitution. And ultimately, that plan would cost school districts about $12 billion a year after year, because all of that extra money would not be counted towards the base of what the minimum funding of Prop 98 would be. So, Memorial Day, that Monday, Governor and CTA came to what they have called now a Prop 98 deal, which does not circumvent Prop 98 the way that, of just unilaterally bulldozing through and being like, yeah, we know what the state funding formula is supposed to be, and we're going to do this thing up anyways. Legislature hasn't, other than acknowledging that, yes, they've seen the deal, they haven't weighed in on whether they approve or disapprove, or, what their piece of, everything is. And they're supposed to, by law have their, but the legislature is supposed to have budget submitted by the end of next week. So without any direction of which way the wind is blowing, it's a little bit tough to put real numbers to anything at the moment. So, let me go ahead and move my slides to play catch up. So if the deal struck between CTA and the governor is approved, it will require a suspension of Prop 98, which is an actual constitutional thing instead of just ignoring it. And as part of that suspension, then what schools are, the minimum guarantee for schools can be adjusted and messed with. But it requires a 2/3 vote of the legislature and the governor's approval to suspend Prop 98. So we'll see. As part of the deal, instead of the full $8.8 billion being recognized, only $6.2 billion would be recognized as revenue to add towards the base. Otherwise, we go from a year where funding was at $107 billion down to around 97, 98 billion of where, you know, the floor is artificially lowered. The subsequent years are then, you know, lower than they should be. In order to maintain funding for next year in the one more out year, it will the deal includes using the Prop 98 rainy day fund. So right now the state has somewhere in the neighborhood of, I want to say 11% or something like that in the rainy day fund. But over the next 2 years, in order to make sure that where the state revenue declines, the rainy day fund is plugging in the hole, so that, again, schools are not heavily impacted by just a sudden decrease in revenues. And then because of the use of the Prop 98 reserve, that $8.8 billion, none of the rainy day reserve counts towards what the base funding would be. So as far as moving forward year after year, anything that comes out of the rainy day reserve, Prop 98 doesn't count that for subsequent years. There are things that are definitely being reduced and eliminated from the budget, where over the last couple of years, there have been plans for school facility funding. Initially, it was, okay, this is what the plan is. Follow up with last year's budget was, okay, we plan on doing this. And then by the time we had May revise last month, with the known shortfall, it's going away. Same with the facilities program for the preschool, kindergarten, transitional kindergarten. I got most of those words in the right order. Anyways, so while, yeah, there's a facilities bond more than likely going to be on the a statewide facilities bond on the November ballot, it's gonna need to, part of that'll be now backfilled with, you know, these other programs that are not going to be funded at all. So, as I mentioned earlier, the legislature has not signaled either their approval or disapproval with, you know, the deal negotiated with CTA. So, not knowing what their overall plan is, let alone what the final outcome of negotiations with the governor are, given a shortfall of $25 billion, there are things that, you know, could happen, be cash deferrals. This one be relatively light compared to prior years. It's not the Great Recession where from November to June cash was deferred. This, you know, if it's only June to July, it's 2 weeks, and then it crosses the imaginary threshold from one fiscal year to the next. So minimally, you know, impacts districts on the ground, but, you know, on the accounting side, it updates the books from 1 year into the next. Possible reductions to existing programs. So while nothing again has been announced for any of these, but, you know, the home to school reimbursement, the universal meals, community schools grant, ELLP. There's all these other programs within the budget that at this point nothing's happening to yet that we know of, but without, final picture of anything, it's still theoretically on the table. Same with rescinding of unallocated grants in the prior years with the arts and music instructional block grant and some other grants where the state had already given us partial funding for these things. Come next or the following July, the other piece of that apportionment just went away. It was, and or creating some sort of long-term obligation to education that, down the road is, can't just keeps getting kicked and kicked. Eventually, dust settles and, all debts need to be settled at some point. So here's what I do know about our budget. We will have to commit reserves to make sure that we are at the reserve cap of 10%. The last few years, with having COVID funds and other, have led to the district having a decent sized reserve, which is, was strategic by the district to make sure that as we came back from COVID and both feet were firmly on the ground, that we were, in a safe position so that if the state did theoretically come up short $27 billion, that, we wouldn't immediately be back to where we were back in 17, 18, 19 in that year. Like, to make sure that, we were prudently sound. LCAP carryover from last year into, or from this current year into next year will be part of that commitment, as well as funds for further facilities upgrades at Tropico to address the fact that, yes, there are new classrooms out there, but painting and landscaping, there's other things that need to be done out there to make sure that all of the picture is tied together instead of everybody just look to the east side of the campus and, quickly make it through the parking lot. Like, we want to make sure that, everything is tied together and looks nice. It has that aesthetic and, the place that staff wants to be at, that students want to be at, all of that. The cost of PERS is going up to 27.05%. So on STRS has stayed steady the last 4 years. PERS, on the other hand, is the employer cost. So for the classified employees, they pay into PERS. The district on their behalf pays percentages. Also, we're up to 27% now with no expected relief on the state side of offsetting any costs there. And this bullet point slightly out of date from when I started this PowerPoint. Instead of a 2% increase to CPI from May to May, it's about it'll be closer to 3.4%. Where the release date for the May data is not till the 12th, so it's preliminary at this point, but it'll be a little bit higher, which is a lot lower than it was a year ago, and we'll see that in the fact that our increase in cost of living, or the COLA, is 1.07%, which both the governor and the legislature have. Both of what we know from either one of them is they do plan on fully funding the COLA, which again, part of that will be the use of one-time funds to do it. So we'll have that for us. And then the last bit of things we do know, we'll have step-in column increases like we always do. And then we'll have increases to health and welfare. Both Kaiser and Blue Cross plans that the district have, both of those have gone up, as well as the district increasing the cap in the last round of negotiations. And then next year we run into the expiration of the last bit of the federal COVID dollars, where the bulk of which have already been spent over the years. There's a little bit that'll roll into next year, but by the time everything settles, end of July, August, it'll all be encumbered so that we, not turning into a place of, okay, we gotta start giving money back because we didn't do anything with it. So, thank you for listening to my presentation, mostly on Prop 98.
Thank you. Okay. We have to read that. The district must hold a public hearing for the proposed budget, or public hearing allows stakeholders and members of the community an opportunity to review and comment on the proposals prior to the board taking action. This was information, whatever. Motion, second by Jim Switch for recess, all in favor? Aye. Oh,
Yes.
are there any comments about the budget? No. Questions?
Keep on moving, girl.
No?
Get us out of here.
Have a break. Recess.
Never got rid of
No, I remember when
I mean, he's 15, so like,
Did you give him a electronic device?
he's 15, yeah.
Yeah, electronic device, you do a great job there.
Try.
Do you want your new number to stay? This is like scared him off. It's a long one. Thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you. I mean, I don't know if he needs to.
Oh, you got it.
Good night. You guys too. Hi, Dan.
We only have
Oh.
2 a year.
Andy has a.
Okay. Ish. Ish? Oh, God. Oh, that, yeah, I was just gonna start looking for those. Thanks so much. Okay. All right, test when you're going that way, so then I'm gonna go to school first. So now I know you're on your way and I'll be out.
Bye, have a good day.
Good night, everybody.
Please understand, guys, site admin, while we're on recess, I just don't wanna have.
So I did let Sabina.
Yeah. All site admin with the exception of Scott Small. You'll be left behind at Tropicon at the high school on Monday. Everybody else is expected here for Dr. Doug Fisher. Okay, just wanted everybody to know that.
That's what the SB needs to get involved and say, so it's learning and growing.
I understand, so you can find somebody over there to keep an eye on summer school for the first day. Because what's going on here is, I know about that. We've already planned.
You got your car bill already for that?
Fine cover.
Yeah, we're starting here, I think, at 8:30.
Your first day of summer? I get it, but I'll be there.
Another thing.
You guys are being true, but but summer now, so you're late. I know you already are. Yes. Okay. Alrighty, do I hear, Yeah. Okay, motion by Ms. Gillette, close, second by Gutierrez, all in favor? Aye. Okay, approve the Southern Kern Unified School District Workplace Violence Prevention Plan.
Yes, Madam President. If the board, I'm sure you've already had a chance to review this. This was a plan that has been board approved by July 1st. Mr. Robert Irving and I worked on this. And it is starting on page 103. It's a 9-page report. Basically, what this report does is it takes some of the work that the safety committee has been doing throughout the year. It also takes the suggested template for this and combines it all together with a uniform, if you would look, for example, uniform procedures and policies that every site in our district will and must follow. For example, now we have stay in place, which is part of what came out of this safety committee. It's also what's recommended by Robert, is it Kalosha? Who's requiring this plan? Do you remember off the top of your head? OSHA? Yeah. It's OSHA, and there's also lockdown. So lockdown, and it tells you very distinctly what students will do and what the adults will do in this plan. It also has evacuate, shelter, and it just kind of gives a very uniform type of, it gives you definitions. There's 4 types of violence. It also has, okay, we'll fix that. Workplace violence prevention plan is also starting on page 7. This will become a district plan. The director, as recommended by Kalosha, the director of HR, which is Paul, will also be the one to receive any violence incidents, statements that are provided. He'll also do trainings, and we're not just talking about online trainings. We're going to be, I'll be meeting with Paul. Just haven't had a chance with all the graduations and promotions yet. I wanted to wait till the board approve this to discuss what kind of trainings do we need to make sure all of our employees get. And so one of the things that was recommended was that the plan cover the district and all sites. So what we did in writing this is as you can see on page 1 of the plan, we listed all 6 sites. In other words, there's no exception to using this plan. It will be a uniform plan used by the district. And so if the board approves this evening, tomorrow we will make sure that Mr. Wexler posts this and makes a big deal about it on our website with the template that the staff is able to use. We also will get this out to, we've met with CSEA, we meet with RTA, haven't had a chance to yet, but that will be coming up this month of June as well. And then we're gonna release it out to all of our employees, because I don't need to train them on what to do during a violent situation. What I need to train them on is, this is the plan. They need to become aware of this is the expectation of Cal OSHA and now adopted by the Southern Kern Board.
Okay, do I hear a motion? Motion by Gutierrez, second by? Ms. Gillette, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so, curriculum and instruction, item A will be tabled until June 26th, so you can scratch that off. And for item B, this is an informational item, English Learner EL Master Plan 2023 to current, Dr. Mendez.
Yes, so the EL Master Plan is something that we update on an ongoing basis as we meet with school sites, meet with the DLAC, and then we meet with the DLAC, and then school site, school site council and DAC at the district level. Basically what our EL master plan consists of is how students are being identified in terms of English language learners. And that is on page 123. There's a flowchart table there. It's based off initially like the home language survey. And then there's students that are identified as, they could either be like English only, they could be students that are English language learners based on home language survey, and also on assessment results. So then on page 129, that's the reclassification process, and it's like a flow chart. It shows how students are reclassified. It's a table that includes information such as assessment data on the LPAC, the Standardized Assessment for English Language Learner Proficiency, as well as the grade in English Language Arts, teacher recommendation, parent input as well. So we look at multiple sources of data in terms of reclassifying students as part of our EL master plan. I've been attending also some training through the ELA, ELD framework, and what they have emphasized is that you still have your designated ELD, where you have your allotted time for English language development, but then they're also looking at the integrated model on how ELD can be incorporated within English language arts, how they're linked. So you have your designated specific time for ELD, and how ELD in terms of reading, writing, listening, and speaking can be integrated in English language arts and in other subjects. So that's been the focus of our EL master plan, looking at how it can be more of a still having your designated time, but then having your integrated time as well. And in terms of the curriculum, we continue to use Wonders ELD for elementary, and then we're also using English 3D, Cake and Sella. And we have ongoing training. I've met with representatives from Kern County Superintendent Schools Office, and we're lining up the training for the professional development for the 2024-2025 school year, where we have team members such as Tara Clark from the KCSOS. She'll come down along with other team members. They'll visit school sites and they'll provide coaching, modeling, provide feedback to teachers, and input as well with the administration. So that is what our plan consists of. We want to further develop in the future to look at both designated and integrated in terms of expanding that, and continue to increase our reclassification rates of English language learners.
That's just an info, I'm sorry.
Oh, yes, that is the
No, you
information.
still need to update it. It's informational, so we're not gonna take action on that. Item C, high school graduation credits on transcripts, Dr. Mendez.
Yes, item C, these are the transcripts. It's on page 158 for Roseland High College campus, and 159 for alternative ed, including Rare Earth High School, Abraham Lincoln Independent Study. So this is the breakdown on the credits. Now that we're going to be incorporating ethnic studies, it's going to be 5 units there. You still have the total of 230, but you're going to have five of health and 5 of ethnic studies. Instead of in the past, it was 10. It was year long for health. So now it's 1 semester, five credits, and 5 credits of ethnic studies. And that's starting with the incoming freshmen for next school year. And then the one on 159 is the one for alternative education. They are working on a course that is through CELUS for alternative education. However, they are going to be recording it and further developing it over the summertime. But we anticipate they'll be ready to go in the fall. So we had Aldet provide us with a breakdown on the units there, and then Roseman High with the similar breakdown on the units there. that present next steps.
Okay, this is an action item, do I hear a motion? Motion by Vincent, second by Gutierrez, all in favor? Aye. Okay, personnel items. There's me. Termination of existing 2022-2025 employment contract, reappointment of superintendent, and approval of replacement employment contract for 2025-2027. We've approved this, this extension, May 1st of 2024. This is for a new contract.
We accept.
Motion by Vincent to accept, second by Toy, all in favor? Aye. Woo-hoo. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, personnel items, targets.
We ask that you approve those with the changes that were made.
I'll move. For the approval.
All right, motion by Vincent, second by Rankin, all in favor? Aye.
I motion that we adjourn.
Yes.
I would like to, this closed session, before we close.
A closed session before we
You can request that we go
In the closed session,
Okay,
if we do wants to review something under item B.
got it. Okay, so, do I hear a motion to go into closed session?
I'll move.
Motion by Vincent, seconded by Gutierrez. All in favor? Aye. Bye, so go into closed session with time.
It is 9:15.
9:15.
Everybody else is.
can go.
Because the service has all my own.
Yes.
Yeah, hey, I like that.
See you later, Ms. Suarez.
Unless you want to just because they were additional.
Bye.
Bye, good night.
I felt your pain earlier.
That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Have a great lunch. Bye, Pam.
Oh, yeah, it's
Alma?
Yeah.
He gets sworn
July. July 16th.
You want to invite parents or whatever?
Well, I don't know if Sunny
Maybe
can
I'll
just
sign
sign
off.
off.
I was trying to do this
Because that was someone's very.
Tuesday the 26th.
16th. July 16th.
No, you're still on, right? Still on.
That's something new. That's something new.
Yeah, it's,
Going to be closed.
okay.
Oh, yeah, they're really
I'm sitting under the table.
Yeah.
Bye, Adrian, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you guys.
Love Madison.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Good, no.